Hey y'all, it's Bear, and today I'm here to bring you Bear's Board Game TBR December edition. If you're not familiar with this on my channel, it's my TBR game I created where I have to get from this starting point to the winner's circle. I roll the dice, I roll one die 5 times, I draw TBR cards, I match prompts and stuff. That's the basis of it. You'll see as we go. And because I'm filming this while there's still like a week left in November, basically, I'm not going to do a whole big wrap up right now. I will post that somewhere else and leave it linked downstairs for you whenever that gets uploaded. But rest assured, I did complete all of my reading prompts, so that means that I don't have to go backwards on the board. This month, I think we have a chance at getting to the winner section. I haven't bought a book in 2 months. I have to hit this winner section before I buy a book. So without further ado, I'm just going to start my dice rolling. A 5. Okay, we're off to a good start. And the card is, I know what you did last summer. Read a book you've had for over a year. A 4. Okay. I'm going to grab like here. Doctor Who. Read a science fiction novel involving space, aliens, or time travel. Okay, next roll. 6. Oh my god, I'm doing this. I'm gonna get to treat myself for Christmas. To show you I'm not cheating, that's a 6. What are you? Okay, ooh, this is one of my favorite cards. Gym Leader. Read a book that contains a Pokemon typing in its name. I have 2 more rolls. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces to get. Can I do it? Can you see what's happening? Can you like see the action and the tension right here going on? A 2. Okay. Ooh, Team Rocket. Steal a book off someone else's TBR. Okay, last roll. I have to roll a 4 or a higher, so I have a 50% chance of winning this month. Can I do it? I'm scared. A 4. I got a 4. Okay, a little shuffle duffle. Okay, we have Broken Hearts. Read a book you put on a previous TBR. That means that we are a winner, and I can officially buy myself a damn book this month. For next month, we are just going to go back to start and start all over again. How nice is that? We get a fresh start in January. I like this. This turned out nice. I'm going to go find some books on my TBR that fit the prompts, and I will be right back to show them to you. So for Doctor Who, and the reason there's a Doctor Who card is because I love Doctor Who. Will's gotten me into Doctor Who in the past year. That's one of our like comfort shows that we watch. But because Will is the one that got me into watching Doctor Who, I feel like I need to read a book that Will told me to read. So one that fits the prompt on the card of like a science fiction with aliens or time travel or space, but also like one that I know Will really loves. So I'm going to be reading Interstellar Pig by William Sleater. I've actually really gotten into William Sleater in the past year. This will be the 3rd book of his that I read in 2021, and I've enjoyed all of them a lot. I believe that they're all like vintage young adult sci-fi before like the young adult genre was even really a thing. This one follows a boy named Barney whose exotic new neighbors, which is what it says in the description, I don't know what that means in context to the book other than I think that they're aliens, invites him over to play this hot new board game called Interstellar Pig. You might be thinking, ooh, is that actually science fiction? Yes, it is. A, because it's William Sleater, and B, because in the description in the back, maybe I am being influenced by some subliminal power from the stars. Try as I might, I can't seem to keep outer space, time travel, and aliens out of my work. Next, for Gym Leader, this one was honestly kind of hard to find. I feel like I made this with specific books in mind on my TBR, and then I read them before I drew the card. But I have to read a book that has one of the 18 Pokemon types in it, so that means like fire, water, grass, dark, electric, etc. And this is one that after I complete is going back in the deck, because I will not take this card fully out of the deck until I have used it for each of the 18 types. After looking at a lot of books on my TBR shelf, I decided to check the few that I had like set for this month already. And while doing that, I found Daughters of Jubilation by Carolee Cortland, which is the last Great American Readathon's group book this month. The theme is Speak Now. And the Pokemon type that this book has in its description is dark. And as her own magic continues to unlock, something dark comes loose and threatens to resurface. So this book takes place in the Jim Crow South and follows a girl named Evie who's throughout her family, they call it a jubilation. They're magic abilities that have been passed down through their family since the time of slavery. And she has to learn how to harness these abilities before the dark thing that we talked about earlier resurfaces. People that talk about this book, I haven't heard anyone talk badly about this book. I've seen, I don't think anything below a 3-star rating for it. It's been 3 stars and up, and the people who talk about it that I follow absolutely love it. So I'm excited to read it. I'm curious to see what the Jubilations entail, because the synopsis just says their magic abilities, so I want to know like what kind of magic we get in this book. Next, for Team Rocket stealing a book off of someone else's TBR, I want you to know that it's now like 2 hours later from the first clip and this clip, because I looked on every social media thing that I have trying to find people's TBRs, and it's still November when I'm filming this, so a lot of people haven't posted their December TBRs. But I did find one that had a book on their TBR that was actually on my to-read shelf, and that was Kelsey from Slime and Slashers. I will leave that channel link down below. It's a really, really good one. You should go check it out. But one of the books that she is reading for the month of December is Silent Night by R.L. Stine. I know I said in my haul that I planned on reading this in December anyway, so I was excited to actually find it on someone's TBR. I was a little concerned because I couldn't fit it into any other prompt, and then I just happened across Kelsey's video and I was like, fuck yeah, I get to read it in December. This is a YA chiller, which is kind of like the direct midpoint between like a thriller and a horror novel, I like to say, that follows Reva Dalby, who is Shady Side High's it girl, right? Because her father owns some department stores. So she's rich and she can have anything that she wants, and she's like a bitch. She's like the Regina George of Shady Side. Like, everyone knows you don't get on Reva Dalby's bad side. But someone decides that they're gonna have a little fun with her this holiday season. There's stalking, there's assault, there's kidnapping, there's threats. It's so good. This is one that I've reread time and time again, and this is the first December in about 10 years that I will be revisiting this book, so I'm curious to see what happens. Alright, next we have I Know What You Did Last Summer, read a book that you've owned for over a year, and thankfully this was a hard one to figure out as well, which means that I'm going through the books on my TBR faster than I actually thought that I was. Over that, I have Scalped. This is a comic book collection that I received as a gift in 2019 from my friend Ashley from the channel Don't Have a Degree in Reading, who hasn't made content in a little bit, at least not that I've seen. Ashley, I miss you a lot. I hope you're doing good. But essentially, this follows a man named Dash Badhorse, who several years ago left the reservation and has now returned as an undercover FBI agent. And he is there to investigate the current tribal leader, who is a crime boss. So it has to do with, like, drug addiction and vigilante stuff, activism. And this is a collection of issues 1 through 11, so I do have quite a bit to read. I hope I enjoy this. And then finally, for Broken Promises, which I feel like I need to explain this card just very briefly. This was the title of the first novel that I ever tried to write, which was like a sad breakup novel. And I was like 12 when I tried to write it, and it's not, no, we're not going to talk about it any further than that. But I tried to write a book called Broken Promises, and I made it into a TBR card here. Anyway. Reading a book that was on a previous TBR, I'm going to be reading What Big Teeth by Rose Sabo. This was on my October TBR, and I did not read it, but in December, it is going to be my Patreon book club pick, voted on by my patrons. Patrons at any tier get access to polls and voting for books I read, TBR stuff, Patreon book club, obviously, and patrons at the $5 a month or more tier get access to the vlog/review discussion situation where I will talk about the book. If you're interested, that's linked down below. Obviously, if you're not interested, don't worry about it. And this one is, I've heard lately, kind of like an Addams Family vibe, if Addams Family was like dark and really fucking gory and had like werewolves. Follow a girl named Eleanor who flees her boarding school after a terrible accident to go back to her family estate. But her family are all monsters, ? Says that this genre-bending fantasy debut will sink its teeth into you and never let go. I was not aware that this was, I knew it was horror and like slightly fantasy, like a contemporary fantasy horror situation, but I was not aware that it was set in the winter, because whenever I made the poll on Patreon, I googled like horror books set in the winter, and this one came up. So if it is set in the winter, great. Happy, spooky, cold weather reading. I thought it was set in the summer just by like the vibes, but apparently not. So those are the 5 books I'm going to try and read this month. If I don't read those books, I will read other books that fit the prompts, don't worry. And yeah, that's all I have for you today. If you enjoyed this video, you can let me know by liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, etc., as well as answering the comment question of the day. The question of the day, I want to know what you're most excited to read in December. Let me know which book is at the very top of your December TBR. And if you don't have time, so you don't have the spoons, you don't have an answer, you don't want to answer, just let me know you made it all the way until the end of the video by leaving me a emoji, preferably a yellow heart or a smiley face emoticon. All my social media links, as well as everything and everyone I've mentioned today, will be downstairs, so make sure you go check that out. And yeah, there are also places to support me further if you want, like I said, like my Patreon, my Amazon wishlist, etc. Like I said, that's never necessary, but if you want to support the channel and you want to support me outside of watching my videos, that's the easiest way to do so. Great, I hope you have a wonderful, whatever it is, wherever you are. I will see you next week with another video, and I hope your December reading is great.